Good morning, everybody. You're listening to WKZR Classic Rock 101. 7, you're home for the best rock and roll from the 70s, 80s, and 90s here in Columbus, Ohio. This is Danny Morrison coming to you live from our beautiful studios downtown. And man, oh man, do we have a fantastic Tuesday morning lined up for you. The time is exactly 5:02, and we are kicking off another beautiful November day. Temperature outside right now is a balmy 48 degrees, partly cloudy skies. High today expected to reach about 55, perfect weather for getting out there and maybe doing a little early holiday shopping. We're just 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving, can you believe it? Where does the time go? Anyway, we're going to start your morning off right here with some Fleetwood Mac. This is Dreams. Sit back and enjoy. And that was Fleetwood Mac with Dreams here on Classic Rock 101. 7, Danny Morrison with you this morning. The time now 5:07. Once again, it's 48 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Traffic looking good on the outer belt. No major incidents to report. A little bit of construction still on I-70 eastbound near the Broad Street exit. But they've got that down to one lane and traffic is moving smoothly. If you're heading downtown this morning, you should have a pretty easy commute. And hey, I want to remind everybody that this Saturday, we've got our annual canned food drive happening at all 3 Big Bear supermarket locations. Bring in 5 cans of non-perishable food items, and you'll be entered to win a pair of tickets to see the Blue Jackets take on the Red Wings next month. Great cause, great prize. Hope to see you out there. Coming up, we've got birthdays to celebrate. Traffic and weather together on the 8s, and of course more of the best classic rock. Right now, here's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers with Refugee. WKZR Classic Rock 101. 7, time is 5:15. Good morning, Columbus. Hey, we've got some birthday shout-outs to get to here. First up, happy birthday to Sarah Chun, turning 26 today. Her sister Amy called in and wanted to wish her a great day. Sarah, if you're listening, your sister says to have an amazing birthday, and she'll see you tonight for dinner. Also want to wish a very happy 50th birthday to Robert Thompson. His wife, Margaret, says congratulations on the big 5-0, honey, and the kids will be over. This weekend for a surprise party, so act surprised, Rob. And finally, happy 13th birthday to Madison Parker. Her mom says she's growing up so fast, and they love her very much. If you'd like to give a birthday shout-out to someone special, just give us a call at 614-555-0177. That's 614-555-0177. All right, let's get back to the music. This is Boston with More Than a Feeling. 5:23 here on Classic Rock 101. 7, Danny Morrison with you. Just a reminder that Hendricks Chevrolet on Morse Road is having their year-end clearance event this week. Huge savings on all 2014 models. They got to make room for the 2015 inventory, and that means big savings for you. 0% financing available for qualified buyers. Just head on down to Hendricks Chevrolet on Morse Road. Tell them Danny sent you, and they'll take an extra $200 off your deal. That's Hendricks. Chevrolet, where the customer always comes first. All right, coming up, we've got Journey. We've got Steve Miller Band. We've got all your classic rock favorites. But first, here's the Eagles with Take It Easy. Time now 5:31. This is WKZR, and I'm just getting some kind of bulletin here coming across the news wire. Apparently, there are reports of some unusual activity over Europe. Nothing confirmed yet, but we're seeing some early morning reports of bright flashes observed in the sky over several European cities. Now, this could be anything. Could be meteor activity. Could be some kind of atmospheric phenomenon. We don't have any confirmed details yet, but we'll keep you updated as we learn. More, probably nothing to worry about, but we like to keep you informed of everything that's happening. All right, let's get back to the music while I try to get some more information on that. Here's AC/DC with Back in Black. Classic Rock 101. 7, 5:38. All right, I'm getting a little more information on those reports from Europe. Apparently, there were multiple bright flashes observed over cities including London, Paris, Berlin, and several others about 20 minutes ago. Now the BBC is reporting that they've lost contact with several of their correspondents. Again, we don't have confirmation of what's happening over there, but this is definitely unusual. I'm sure there'll be more information coming shortly. Our news. Director just walked in the studio, and he's on the phone right now trying to get details. We'll keep you posted. In the meantime, let's go to some Leonard Skinner. This is Sweet Home, Alabama. Okay, folks, we're getting more information now, and I have to tell you this is becoming concerning. The time is 5:44, and we're now seeing reports that the bright flashes over Europe may have been nuclear detonations. I want to stress that this is not confirmed. We're hearing this from multiple sources, but we don't have official word yet. The Pentagon is not commenting at this time. The White House has not issued any statement. But CNN is reporting that they believe at least 6 major European cities may have been hit. Again, this is unconfirmed. We're trying to get more details. Our general manager just told me to stay on the air and keep broadcasting. We're going to go to our network feed. Please stand by. This is the CBS radio network with a special report. Reports are coming in at this hour of multiple nuclear explosions in Western Europe. Initial reports indicate detonations in London, Paris, Berlin, Frankfurt, Brussels, and Amsterdam. We cannot confirm the number of devices or casualties at this time. The White House Situation Room is said to be in emergency session. The president has been moved to a secure location. We will continue to bring you updates as information becomes available. We now return you to your local programming. This is Danny Morrison on WKZR. Folks, I don't even know what to say right now. We're all just standing here in the studio trying to process what we're hearing. If what they're saying is true, then this is World War III. This is the nightmare scenario we've all feared since the Cold War. I'm looking out our studio window right now at downtown Columbus, and everything looks completely normal. People are driving to work. The sun is starting to come up, and yet we're hearing that. Europe may have just been hit with nuclear weapons. I have a daughter in college. I have a son who's 15. My wife is probably waking up right now and turning on the TV, and God, I don't know what to tell you people. Let me try to get the network feedback. Hold on. We interrupt this program for an emergency broadcast from the emergency alert system. This is not a test. The United States is under attack. Multiple nuclear detonations have been confirmed in Europe. All citizens are advised to seek shelter immediately. This is not a test. Tune to your local emergency broadcast station for further information. This is the emergency alert system. Stand by for further instructions. The attention signal you just heard indicates that this is an actual emergency. The time is now 5:51 Eastern Standard Time. Reports are now confirmed of nuclear detonations in at least 12 European cities. Casualties are unknown, but presumed to be in the millions. NATO forces are on full alert. The president is expected to address the nation momentarily. Do not attempt to travel. Remain in your homes. Seek shelter in basements or interior rooms away from windows if you are an A. Vehicles seek the nearest shelter immediately. This is an actual civil defense emergency. This is not a test. Further information will be provided as it becomes available. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is Danny Morrison. I'm still here. We're still broadcasting. I can see people running on the street below. Someone just ran a red light and crashed into another car at the intersection. There's smoke coming from the vehicles. This is really happening. This is really happening. Our phone lines are completely jammed. The board is just lit up with calls, but the system seems to be overloaded. I can't get through to anyone. I just tried to call my wife, and I can't get a signal. I don't know if she knows what's happening. Sarah, our production assistant, is crying in the corner. Our news director, Bob, is on the landline trying to reach the network. We have a television here in studio, and CNN is showing what they say is footage from London, and the entire city appears to be on fire. There are no live feeds. The footage is from a camera that was pointed at the skyline, and you can see the mushroom cloud. It's enormous. It fills the entire screen. And now the feed is gone. It just went to black. We're getting reports now of flashes observed over the eastern seaboard. This is not confirmed, but multiple people are calling and saying they saw bright lights in the sky to the east. We're in Columbus, so we can't see that from here. But we're hearing from Cleveland, from Pittsburgh, from people saying they saw something. Hold on, I'm being told to go to the network again. This is CBS News with a special report. We have confirmation that New York City has been hit. Washington, D.C. has been hit. Multiple warheads have struck the east coast of the United States. The time is 6:04 Eastern Standard Time. This is not a drill. This is a confirmed nuclear attack on the United States. All citizens must seek immediate shelter. If you're within 20 miles of a strike location, you must seek shelter immediately. Fallout will begin to descend within the hour. Do not. Look at the flash. Do not go outside. Seal all windows and doors. Turn off all ventilation systems. This is CBS News. We are remaining on the air as long as we are able. The President of the United States will now address the nation. My fellow Americans, as you have now heard, our nation is under attack. Approximately 30 minutes ago, multiple nuclear weapons were detonated in cities across Europe by forces we believe to be under the command of the Russian Federation. Moments ago, similar attacks struck our eastern seaboard, including New York, Washington, Boston, and Philadelphia. I want to assure you that our military forces are responding. Our nuclear deterrent forces have been launched. I am authorizing a full retaliatory strike against targets throughout Russia, and we have confirmation of additional strikes now hitting Chicago, Detroit, and the feed is gone. The president just got cut off. They were evacuating him. You could hear people shouting in the background. The broadcast just ended. We don't have a network anymore. This is just us now, WKZR Classic Rock 101. 7. The time is 6:09, and I don't know if time even matters anymore. I'm looking at our traffic camera feeds here, and I can see people abandoning their cars on the highways. There are just hundreds of cars stopped on the outer belt with their doors open and people running. I don't know where they think they're going. Bob just came in and said we need to stay on the air as long as we can. He said if the transmitter is still working, we have to keep broadcasting. We have a generator in the basement that should keep us going even if the power grid goes down. I'm going to try to take some calls. Let me see if I can get someone on the line. Hello, you're on WKZR. This is Steve calling from Dublin. I can see a glow on the eastern horizon. Something hit Columbus, something hit downtown. I'm about 15 miles northwest, and I can see this orange glow in the sky. And I felt the ground shake about 2 minutes ago. My house shook like an earthquake. The power went out. I'm calling from my cell phone, but the signal keeps cutting out. Is anyone else seeing this? Steve, we're downtown right now, and we're still on the air. I haven't felt anything. Wait, everyone just stop talking. I can hear something. It sounds like thunder, but constant. It's getting louder. Oh God, it's coming. Get away from the windows. Get away from... The building just shook. The entire building just shook like we were in an earthquake. Our windows are rattling. I can hear car alarms going off outside. The power just flickered, but we're still on. Our backup systems kicked in. The lights are dimmer now, but we're still broadcasting. I'm looking outside, and the sky to the east it's like the sun is rising again, but it's the wrong color. It's orange and red, and it's growing brighter. There's a mushroom cloud. There's a mushroom cloud visible. From here, it must have hit Wright-Patterson, the Air Force Base. It's maybe 20 miles from here, and I can see the mushroom cloud rising into the sky. It's massive. It's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. The top of it is spreading out, and it's still growing. It's been maybe 3 minutes since the blast, and it's still growing. There are people on the street below just standing there staring at it. Some people are running, but most of them are just standing there looking at it. We need to tell people what to do. Bob is handing me something. Okay, this is official civil defense information. If you're listening and you're within 20 miles of a nuclear detonation, you need to take shelter immediately. Get to a basement, if possible. Get away from windows. Seal yourself in an interior room. Use duct tape and plastic sheeting to seal doors and windows if you have them. Do not go outside. Do not look at the flash if there are additional detonations. The thermal radiation can blind you even from miles away. Fallout will begin to arrive within the next hour. It consists of radioactive particles that will make you extremely sick or kill you if exposed. You must stay sheltered for at least 48 hours, preferably 72. After that, you may be able to move, but only if absolutely necessary. If you have a radio, please tune to 6:40 a.m. or 12:40 a.m. for CONELRAD information. Those are the emergency frequencies. We will remain on this frequency as long as we can. But if we go off the air, please try those emergency frequencies. I'm getting reports now from our sister station in Cleveland. They're saying Cleveland has been hit. The entire east side is gone. Their transmitter is damaged, but they're still on emergency power. They're broadcasting from shelter beneath their building. We have stations in Cincinnati. We haven't heard from them. We have a station in Detroit. We're hearing that Detroit took multiple hits. The entire city is gone. Toledo has been hit. We're getting all this from ham radio operators who are breaking in on various frequencies. I have a shortwave receiver here in the studio, and I'm hearing transmissions from all over. There's someone in Denver saying Denver is gone. There's someone in Seattle saying they saw multiple flashes to the south. I'm hearing someone who says they're in a missile silo in North Dakota, and they just launched their birds. They're crying. This young man is crying, saying he just helped end the world. The time is 6:37. The sun should be fully up by now, but the sky is getting darker. There's a cloud of smoke moving in from the east. It's like a black wall reaching up to the stratosphere. The mushroom cloud from Wright-Patterson has merged with the smoke, and the entire eastern sky is black. It looks like a thunderstorm, but it's not moving like a thunderstorm. It's expanding in all directions. The temperature outside, according to our weather station, was 48 degrees at 5 a.m. It's now reading 43 and dropping. That's a 5-degree drop in 90 minutes. The barometric pressure is fluctuating wildly. I don't understand what's happening to the weather. Our GM just told me that the entire commercial power grid is down. We're running on our diesel generator now. We have fuel for approximately 72 hours if we're careful. After that we're done, we're going to turn off all unnecessary equipment. We're going to run just a transmitter and one microphone and one light here in the studio. Everything else is going dark. I need to tell you that our transmitter tower is on the roof of this building. So as long as the building stands, and we feel we can keep broadcasting, our effective range is probably about 60 miles under normal conditions. Maybe more at night when signals carry better. If you can hear me, please know that we're doing everything we can to stay on the air. I'm going to try to take more calls. I see we have some lines that are working. Hello, this is WKZR. You're on the air. This is Linda calling from Worthington. I'm in my basement with my 3 children. We saw the flash from the base. We heard the blast. All our windows broke, glass everywhere. We made it to the basement. My husband was driving home from the night shift, and I haven't heard from him. His route takes him right past the base. He was supposed to be home at 6:30. I don't know if he made it. I don't know if he's alive. My children are asking me what's happening, and I don't know what to tell them. What do I tell them? What do I say? Linda, you're doing the right thing by being in the basement. You need to stay there. Do you have food and water? Do you have supplies? We have some water bottles. We have some crackers and granola bars. We have blankets. It's getting cold down here. I don't understand why it's so cold. There's a heat out everywhere. The power is out across the city, Linda. Try to stay warm. Use all your blankets. Huddle together with your children. Body heat will help. As for your husband and I don't know, Linda. I'm so sorry. But if he was near the base when it was hit, I'm very sorry. You need to focus on taking care of your children now. They need you to be strong. Can you do that, Linda? I'll try. Oh, God, this can't be happening. This can't be real. I keep thinking I'm going to wake up. Linda, we're all feeling that way. You're not alone. Stay in your basement. Don't come out for at least 2 days. The fallout is going to be severe. We're going to stay on the air as long as we can. You can keep your radio on, and we'll be here. Okay, you won't be alone. We're all in this together. Thank you. Thank you for being there. My radio is battery powered. I'll keep it on. Please don't go off the air, please. We want Linda. We'll be here. God bless you and your children. That was Linda from Worthington. I can't believe I'm having these conversations. I can't believe this is real. Bob, just show me a wire service report that came through before the internet went down completely. They're estimating that over 300 warheads have struck the continental United States. The entire eastern seaboard is gone. The West Coast has been hit. All major military installations have been targeted. Population centers near those installations have been destroyed. We're looking at casualties in the tens of millions. This is just from the initial strikes. The fallout deaths will be much higher. And it's not just us. Russia has been hit with at least as many weapons. China may have been involved. We're hearing reports of strikes there as well. Europe is essentially gone. The entire northern hemisphere is on fire. I need to take a moment. I'm sorry. I just need a moment. I'm going to play some music. I don't know why. It seems absurd to play music right now. But I need a moment to compose myself. And maybe you need a moment too. Maybe we all need to just hear something normal for a few minutes. Something from before. Here's Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. The time is 7:15. We're still here. WKZR is still broadcasting. The temperature outside has now dropped to 37 degrees. That's 11 degrees in 2 hours. The sky is completely black. It looks like midnight. Someone just brought in a flashlight, because even though we have our emergency lights on, it's so dark outside that you can't see anything. The street lights came on because of the darkness, but they're running on battery backup, and they're dim. There's ash falling now. I can't. See, under the street lights, it looks like black snow. It's accumulating on the cars, on the streets. Everything is being covered in this black ash. Our engineer, Mike, just came up from the basement. He says the generator is running well, but we need to be conservative with the fuel. He shut down all the heating in the building to save power. It's getting cold in here already. We're all putting on jackets. We have a space heater, but we're only going to use it if we absolutely have to. The temperature in the studio is probably about 60 degrees now and dropping. I can see my breath when I talk. There's frost forming on the inside of the windows. How is there frost? It was 48 degrees 90 minutes ago. How is it cold enough for frost already? I'm looking at the shortwave again. I'm hearing stations from all over the world. There's a broadcaster in Sydney, Australia, saying that they can see the smoke cloud from the northern hemisphere spreading across the equator. They're being told to prepare for a dramatic drop in temperature worldwide. The amount of soot and ash in the atmosphere is going to block out the sun potentially for months. They're calling it nuclear winter. This is the nuclear winter scenario that scientists have been warning about for decades. The entire planet is going to freeze. Crops are going to fail worldwide. Even countries that weren't hit are going to starve. Billions are going to die, not from the bombs, but from starvation and cold. I have someone from our affiliate in Kansas City on a landline. They're saying Kansas City took 2 hits. Their transmitter is damaged, but they're trying to stay on. They're broadcasting on reduced power. They can hear us. They say our signal is strong. They're asking if we've heard from any other stations in the network. I'm telling them we've lost contact with most of our affiliates. Cincinnati is gone. Detroit is gone. Cleveland is damaged, but still broadcasting. Indianapolis we haven't heard from. They're probably gone. Fort Wayne is gone. We're getting reports from ham operators that most major cities in the Midwest have been hit. Someone just handed me a piece of paper. It's a list of confirmed strikes based on ham radio reports and the last internet data we received before everything went down. I'm going to read this to you, and I apologize for how long this is going to take. But people need to know these are confirmed nuclear strikes on the United States. New York City, multiple warheads. Washington, D.C., multiple warheads. Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Richmond, Norfolk Naval Station, Charleston, Jacksonville, Miami, Atlanta, Birmingham, New Orleans, Houston, multiple warheads. Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Denver, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, multiple warheads. San Diego, San Francisco, Oakland, Sacramento, Portland, Seattle, multiple warheads. Spokane, Minneapolis, Chicago, multiple warheads. Milwaukee, Detroit, Cleveland, Columbus vicinity at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Indianapolis, Louisville, Nashville, Memphis, Little Rock, Shreveport, Wichita, Omaha, Des Moines, Sioux Falls, Billings, Great Falls, Minot Air Force Base, Grand Forks Air Force Base, every single ICBM silo in North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, and Nebraska, every single strategic bomber base, every single submarine base, Cheyenne Mountain, NORAD, the Pentagon, which was already mentioned under Washington, D.C., and these are just the ones we have confirmation on. There are likely dozens more. The death toll, we can't even estimate the death toll. If each of those cities was hit with even a single 1 megaton warhead, the immediate deaths would be, I can't even do the math, it's in the tens of millions just from the blasts and thermal radiation, and then the fallout will kill tens of millions more. And then the starvation from the nuclear winter, we could be looking at a 90% reduction in the U.S. population. That's 270 million people dead, and it's the same in Russia. It's the same in Europe, China. This is the end of human civilization. This is the extinction event we were always told could never happen, because surely leaders would be rational. Surely someone would stop this before it went all the way. But they didn't. Nobody stopped it, and now we're all going to die. I'm sorry for being so blunt, but what's the point of lying to you now? We're all going to die. If the radiation doesn't get us the cold, will. If the cold doesn't get us the starvation, will. There's no coming back from this. The entire agricultural system of the planet has just been destroyed. The sun is going to be blocked for months, maybe years. Nothing is going to grow. There's no food supply that can last that long. We're all dead. We just don't know it yet. Bob is telling me I need to stay positive. I need to give people hope. But what hope is there? What possible hope? My daughter is in Athens at Ohio University. That's about 70 miles southeast of here. I tried to call her before the phones went dead. I couldn't reach her. I don't know if she's alive. Even if she survived the initial strike, she's going to get a heavy dose of fallout from Wright-Patterson. The wind is blowing from the west, so the plume is going to go right over Athens. She's probably already being exposed. And even if she makes it through the next few days, then what? Where's she going to get food? Where's she going to stay warm? The university might have some supplies, but not enough for thousands of students. Not enough for weeks or months. My baby girl is 70 miles away, and there's nothing I can do for her. Nothing. My son is at home with my wife. They live in Upper Arlington. That's maybe 5 miles from here. They're probably in the basement by now if they're smart. My wife, Susan, is very smart. She'll know what to do. She'll take care of our boy. But for how long? How long can it last in that basement? We have maybe a week's worth of food in the house, some canned goods, some frozen food, but the freezer won't work without power. The water from the tap is probably contaminated or will be soon. They need to fill the bathtub while they still can if the water is still running. They need to ration everything, make it last as long as possible, but eventually it's going to run out, and then what? They'll have to leave the basement. They'll have to go out into the radioactive wasteland and search for supplies. And the cold, oh God, the cold. How are they going to stay warm? We have a fireplace, but you can't run a fireplace in a basement. The smoke has nowhere to go. They're going to freeze my family. It's going to freeze to death in our basement. I'm going to take another call. I need to talk to someone. I need to hear another human voice. Hello, you're on WKZR. This is Tom calling from Lancaster. I'm about 30 miles southeast of Columbus. We saw the flash from Wright-Patterson. We're in our basement, but here's the thing. My neighbor came over about 20 minutes ago. He's a former Army sergeant. He has a Geiger counter. He says the radiation levels outside are already elevated. The fallout is arriving already. It's been less than 2 hours since the blast, and the fallout is already here. He says we're reading about 50 Roentgens per hour at ground level and rising. He says that means we're going to get a lethal dose if we stay here. The basement isn't deep enough. We need to get to better shelter, but there's nowhere to go. The high school has a fallout shelter, but that's 2 miles away, and he says we'd get a lethal dose just walking there. We're trapped. We're stuck here, and we're going to die in the next few days from radiation poisoning. Tom, I don't know what to tell you. If you have a basement, you need to stay there. Pile up any dense materials you can find, books, furniture, bags of dirt if you have them, anything to put mass between you and the outside. The more mass, the better. It will absorb some of the radiation. And pray, Tom, pray that the radiation levels drop fast enough that you can survive. The half-life of most fallout isotopes is relatively short. The radiation will decrease significantly over the first 48 hours. If you can survive the first few days, you might make it. Might make it to what? To starve to death? To freeze? What's the point? The point is to survive. Tom, that's all we can do now. We survive 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time. We don't think about next week or next month. We just think about surviving the next hour. Can you do that, Tom? I guess so. I don't know. This is insane. Yesterday, I was worried about making my mortgage payment, and now I'm sitting in my basement waiting to die from radiation poisoning. My wife keeps asking me if we're going to be okay, and I keep lying to her. I keep telling her it'll be fine, but I know it won't. I know we're all dead. Tom, you take care of your wife. You stay strong for her. That's your job now. We're all in this together. We're all scared, but we have to keep going. Okay, you keep that radio on, and you keep listening, and you'll know you're not alone. Thank you. Thank you for staying on the air. It helps to know someone's out there. We'll be here, Tom, as long as we can. God bless you. The time is 8:13, and it is completely dark outside. It looks like the middle of the night. The only light is from the emergency lighting on the streets and for fires. I can see fires burning in several places across the city. Buildings are on fire. I don't know if they were damaged in the blast wave, or if people started fires trying to stay warm, or if it's just chaos. There are no fire trucks responding. I can hear sirens, but they're distant and scattered. Normal emergency services have completely collapsed. If your house is on fire, you're on your own. If you're having a heart attack, there's no ambulance coming. If someone breaks in your home, there are no police. Society has ended. It ended 2 hours ago, and we're all just starting to realize it. The black snow is really coming down now. It's accumulating fast. There must be 2 or 3 inches on the ground already. It's coating everything. The cars look like black ghosts. The streets are invisible under the ash, and it's still coming down. The sky is just dumping this radioactive ash on us. Every particle is deadly. Every breath of outside air is potentially fatal, and it's going to keep falling for days. The mushroom clouds injected millions of tons of material into the atmosphere. And it's all coming down now. It's going to bury us. It's going to bury the entire state. The entire Midwest is going to be covered in radioactive ash. Mike, our engineer, just came back upstairs. He says the diesel fuel is burning faster than he expected because the generator is having to work harder in the cold. The cold is affecting the efficiency of everything. He says we might only have 48 hours of fuel instead of 72. After that we're done, we'll have maybe 30 minutes on battery backup for the transmitter, and then that's it. No more WKZR. No more signal, just silence. 2 days from now, this frequency will go dead, and you'll be alone with your battery-powered radios searching for any station, any voice, and you probably won't find one. I'm getting something on the short wave. There's a station in London. Wait, no, it's not London. Someone in London, but they're not in the city. They're outside. They're saying London is gone, completely gone. They were in the suburbs when the bombs hit. They say there's nothing left. The entire city center is just a crater. The fires burned for hours. They could see the glow from 40 miles away. They're saying the Thames is boiling. The river is actually boiling from the heat. They're saying millions are dead. There are refugees everywhere trying to walk away from the city, but there's nowhere to go. The roads are clogged. People are fighting over cars, over food. They saw a man shot over a bottle of water. Civilization ended in London 3 hours ago. There's another voice, someone in Paris. No, wait, they're cutting out. The signal is fading. Too much interference. The ionosphere must be disrupted from all the electromagnetic pulses from the bombs. Radio propagation is going to be affected for weeks. We might lose the ability to hear distant stations. We might lose the ability to communicate beyond our local area. We're going to be isolated. Each little pocket of survivors huddled around their radios, hearing only the few local stations that remain, and one by one those stations will go off the air as their fuel runs out or their operators die or give up, and then there will be silence, just static, and the occasional burst of Morse code from some ham operator in a bunker somewhere desperately calling CQ, 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 calling for anyone. Is anyone there? Is anyone still alive? I'm going to try to get some news. Let me see if the network feed is back. I'm switching over. Please stand by. Nothing, there's nothing on the network feed. It's just dead air. CBS is gone. NBC is gone. ABC is gone. All the major networks are off the air. Their transmitters were New York and Washington. Those cities are gone. There are no networks anymore. We're on our own. Every station is on its own. We have no central authority, no coordination, no official information. We're just making this up as we go. I'm sitting here in a dark radio studio in Columbus, Ohio, with a flashlight and a microphone. And I'm the voice of authority for anyone who's listening, me, a classic rock DJ who plays Foreigner and Journey and does funny voices for car dealership commercials. I'm supposed to tell you how to survive the apocalypse. I don't know how to survive the apocalypse. I don't have any special training. I don't know what I'm doing. Bob just handed me another civil defense bulletin. I'm supposed to read this. Okay, this is from FEMA, or what's left of FEMA. Attention all citizens. If you're in a fallout zone, you must remain in shelter for a minimum of 72 hours. Do not go outside for any reason. Seal all doors and windows. Turn off all ventilation. Ration your food and water. 1 gallon of water per person per day minimum. If you have a radiation detector, monitor the levels hourly and keep a written log if radiation levels are above 10 roentgens per hour. You must not leave shelter under any circumstances. After 72 hours, if radiation levels have dropped below 1 roentgen per hour, you may briefly exit shelter to gather supplies, but limit your exposure to no more than 1 hour. Decontamination procedures. Remove all outer clothing before entering shelter. Wash exposed skin with soap and water, if available. Do not drink any water that may have been exposed to fallout. Do not eat any food. That was not sealed before the attack. If you develop symptoms of radiation sickness, including nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, hair loss, or bleeding, seek medical attention immediately. Seek medical attention. That's a joke. Seek medical attention from who? All the hospitals are either destroyed or overwhelmed or inaccessible. There is no medical attention. If you have radiation sickness, you're going to die. That's it. There's no treatment. There's no cure. You're going to spend the next few days or weeks dying slowly and painfully, and there's nothing anyone could do about it. I'm sorry to be so blunt, but these official statements are useless. They're from before they're from. When we thought there might be some kind of organized response, some kind of functioning government, but there's no government anymore, there's no FEMA, there's no civil defense, there's just us, the survivors, however many of us there are, and we're on our own. The time is 9:27. It should be full daylight now, but it's pitch black outside. The only reason I know it's 9:27 is because I'm looking at my watch, a wind-up watch that doesn't need batteries. I wound it this morning before I came to work back when the world was normal, back when I was worried about traffic reports and birthday shout-outs. That was 4 hours ago, and it feels like a lifetime. It is a lifetime. That life is over. That world is gone. The temperature outside is now 31 degrees. We've dropped 17 degrees in 4 hours. The inside of the studio is about 55 degrees and dropping. We're all wearing coats and hats. Sarah, our production assistant, is shivering. She's only 23 years old. She just graduated from Ohio State last year. This was her first real job, and now she's huddled in a corner of a dark radio studio watching the world end. She hasn't said anything in over an hour. She's just staring at the wall. I think she's in shock. We're all in shock. Bob just told me that we've lost contact with all of our other stations in the network. Cleveland went off the air 20 minutes ago. Their last transmission was someone screaming that the building was on fire. Kansas City went off the air about an hour ago. To stop mid-sentence, We don't know if they lost power or if something happened to them. We're trying to raise anyone on the ham frequencies, but we're getting mostly silence now. Occasionally, we'll hear a voice, someone in a bunker. Somewhere, someone in a basement, but they're few and far between. Most of the ham operators are either dead or their equipment isn't working. The electromagnetic pulse from the bombs has destroyed a lot of electronics. We're lucky our transmitter is hardened and shielded. We're lucky the generator started. We're lucky to still be on the air. I'm going to take some more calls. I see we have a few lines that are still working somehow. The phone system is mostly dead, but occasionally a call gets through. Hello, you're on WKZR. This is Jennifer calling from Grove City. I'm listening to you. I've been listening since the beginning. I just want to say thank you for staying on. It helps so much to hear your voice, to know someone else is out there. My husband and I are in our basement with our dog. We have food for maybe a week. We filled the bathtub before the water stopped running. We're okay for now, but we're terrified. The radiation detector we have shows we're getting about 20 Roentgens per hour outside. Is that bad? How bad is that? Jennifer, that's high. That's very high. You need to stay in your basement. Don't go outside for any reason. 20 Roentgens per hour means you get a potentially lethal dose in just a few hours of exposure. You need to wait out. The levels should drop over the next few days as the short-lived isotopes decay, but right now it's deadly out there. You stay put. You hear me, you and your husband stay in that basement. We will, we promise, but what about after? What do we do when the food runs out? Where do we go? I don't know, Jennifer. I honestly don't know. We're all trying to figure that out. I guess we look for other survivors. We try to form groups. We share resources. We help each other. That's the only way any of us are going to make it. We have to work together. What if there aren't any other survivors? What if it's just us? Then it's just you and your husband and your dog. And you make the best life you can with what you have. But I don't think you're alone, Jennifer. I think there are going to be a lot of survivors. People in basements, people in shelters, people who are far enough from the blasts. We're going to make it through this, some of us anyway. And we're going to rebuild. It might take generations, but we'll rebuild. Humans are resilient. We survive. That's what we do. Thank you. That helps. I'm going to keep listening. Please don't stop broadcasting. We want Jennifer. We'll be here. That was Jennifer from Grove City. She sounded so young, so scared. They're all scared. I'm scared. We're all absolutely terrified and trying to hold it together, trying to be strong. But inside we're all screaming. We're all asking why. Why did this happen? Who launched first? Who's responsible? Does it even matter? The bombs have fallen. Millions are dead. Billions are going to die. And knowing who pushed the button first doesn't change anything. I'm hearing something on the shortwave again. It's very faint. It's someone speaking Russian. They're broadcasting from somewhere in Siberia. I don't speak Russian, but I can hear the tone. They sound just like us, frightened, desperate. They're reading what sounds like casualty reports, numbers, so many numbers. They're victims too. The Russian people didn't want this any more than we did. This was done to them just like it was done to us. By leaders, by politicians, by military commanders who convinced themselves that this was somehow necessary, somehow justified, and now we're all paying the price. There's another voice, this one in English, very faint. They're saying they're broadcasting from a bunker in Colorado. They say they're military personnel. They say NORAD is gone. Cheyenne Mountain took multiple hits. The blast doors held, but the entrances are buried under thousands of tons of rock. They're trapped in there. They have air and power, but they can't get out. They're asking if anyone can hear them, if anyone can send help. But there is no help. There's no one to send. They're going. To die in that bunker, they're going to run out of air or food, or they're going to go insane trapped in there, and they're going to die. The time is 10:41. It's been over 5 hours since the first reports from Europe. It's been about 4 hours since Wright-Patterson was hit. It feels like days. It feels like weeks. Time has stopped meaning anything. Bob just came in and said he's going to try to go outside. He wants to check the generator. He wants to make sure everything is secure. I told him he's crazy. The radiation levels are deadly. But he says someone has to do it. We need that generator running. Without it, we're. off the air. He's putting on every piece of clothing he can find. He's going to wrap a scarf around his face. He's going to try to limit his exposure to just a few minutes. He says he'll be okay, but I can see in his eyes he knows this might kill him. And he's doing it anyway because it needs to be done. Bob is heading down to the basement. He's taking a flashlight. We can hear him on the stairs. The building is so quiet. There's no traffic noise outside. No normal city sounds, just wind. The wind is howling now. It must be blowing 40 or 50 miles per hour. The windows are rattling. The black snow is blowing sideways. Visibility is 0. Bob is going to go out into the radioactive blizzard. We're waiting. Sarah is crying. Mike, our engineer, is monitoring the generator from the control panel in the basement. He has a radio. He can communicate with Bob. They're talking now. Bob is at the back door. He's opening it. Oh, God, the noise. We can hear the wind even up here. It sounds like a freight train. Bob is outside. Mike says Bob is checking the fuel lines. He's making sure nothing is frozen. The cold is intense. It's dropping so fast. The outside temperature is now 28 degrees. It was 48 degrees 5 hours ago. We've dropped 20 degrees. Mike says the generator is running rough. It's struggling the cold. Bob is trying to adjust something. He's been out there for 3 minutes. He needs to come back in. The radiation. Bob is coming back in. He's inside. He's in the basement. Mike says he looks okay. He's covered in black snow. He's brushing it off. He's coughing. He says the air outside burns your lungs. It's full of ash and chemicals and radiation. He says you can smell it like burning plastic and metal. He says the city is on fire in places. He could see the glow through the snow. He says there are bodies in the street. People who were caught outside when the fallout started. They're lying where they fell, already covered in the black snow. He says it looks like the end of the world because it is the end of the world. Bob is coming back upstairs. He's here in the studio. His face is red from the cold and the wind. His eyes are watering. He's breathing hard. He's telling me the generator is okay for now, but it's struggling. The cold is making the diesel gel. It's becoming viscous. The engine is working harder to pump it. We're burning fuel faster than we should be. He estimates we have maybe 36 hours left, maybe less. After that we're done, we're off the air. I'm asking him if there's anything we can do. And he's shaking his head. There's nothing. We just have to hope the fuel lasts as long as possible. I'm going to play some music. I know that sounds crazy, but I think we all need to hear something normal, something from before. I'm going to play something that reminds us that there was beauty in the world, that there was joy, that life was worth living. Here's Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, all 6 minutes of it. And while it plays, I'm going to sit here and think about my family, about my daughter in Athens and my son and wife in Upper Arlington. I'm going to think about Jennifer and her husband in Grove City, about Linda and her children in Worthington, about Tom in Lancaster, about all of you out there in your basements and shelters listening to this. We're all in this together. We're all human beings trying to survive. And for the next 6 minutes, we can forget about the bombs and the radiation and the cold and just listen to something beautiful. That was Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. The time is 11:18. We're still here, still broadcasting. I want to try to take some more calls. I want to hear from you. I know you're still out there. If you can get through on the phone lines, please call 614-555-0177. Or if you have a ham radio, you can try to reach us on 14.28 megahertz. We have a receiver here monitoring that frequency. Hello, you're on WKZR. This is Frank calling from Zanesville. That's about 50 miles east of Columbus. We're getting heavy fallout here. It's been falling for over an hour now. The ground is covered. My Geiger counter is showing 40 Rinkins per hour and climbing. We're in the basement, but this house is old. The basement isn't very deep. I'm worried we're not protected enough. Should we try to move? Should we try to get to a better shelter? Frank, where would you go? If you go outside, you're going to get a massive dose of radiation. You need to stay where you are. Try to improve your shielding. Bring everything dense down into the basement. Furniture, appliances, bags of dirt from your yard if you can get them. Pile everything against the ceiling of the basement between you and the outside. Every inch of material helps. My wife is pregnant. She's 7 months pregnant. What's the radiation going to do to the baby? Oh, Frank, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But radiation is especially dangerous for developing fetuses. I'm not going to lie to you. This is very serious. Your wife needs to stay in the most shielded part of the basement. Minimize her exposure as much as possible. We were supposed to have a little girl. We picked out a name. Emily, we had a nursery already. And now, what kind of world is she going to be born into? What kind of life is she going to have? Frank, I can't answer that. I don't know what kind of world this is going to be, but I know your daughter is going to need you and your wife to be strong. She's going to need parents who don't give up, who fight to survive, who make a life for her no matter how hard it is. Can you do that, Frank? Can you be strong for Emily? I'll try. God help me, I'll try. Thank you for being there. Thank you for giving us something to hold on to. You stay strong, Frank. You and your wife and little Emily, you're going to make it. God bless you. A pregnant woman in a basement in Zanesville with radiation raining down on her. That baby is going to be born into hell. If she survives the radiation exposure in the womb, she's going to be born into a world without hospitals, without medicine, without heat or food or any of the things a newborn needs. What chance does she have? What chance do any of us have? I'm hearing more stations on the shortwave. There's someone broadcasting from Australia. They're saying that the smoke cloud is visible from the southern hemisphere. They're saying the sun is dimmed even there. They're saying temperatures are dropping worldwide. They're estimating that global temperatures could drop by 20 to 30 degrees Celsius over the next few weeks. That's 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The entire planet is going to freeze. Crops are going to fail everywhere, even. Countries that weren't hit by bombs are going to face mass starvation. This isn't just the end of the northern hemisphere. This is the end of human civilization everywhere. The broadcaster in Australia is reading a statement from their government. They're saying that Australia will try to take in refugees if any can make it there. But how? How is anyone going to get from North America to Australia? There are no airlines flying, no ships sailing. The ports are destroyed. The airports are craters. There's no way out. We're trapped here in this frozen radioactive wasteland. And in a few months, when the food runs out and we're starving, we'll look south and know that. There are people on the other side of the world who still have food and warmth and will never be able to reach them. The time is 12:34. It's past noon, but it's still completely dark outside. The sun is up there somewhere above the cloud of ash and smoke, but no light is getting through. This is the darkness. This is the nuclear winter. It's going to stay dark like this for months, maybe years. Plants need sunlight to grow. Without light, there will be no plants. Without plants, there will be no food. The entire food chain is going to collapse. Everything is going to die. First the plants, then the herbivores, then the carnivores, then us. We're at the top of the food chain, and we're going to be the last to go. We're going to watch everything else die first, and then we're going to die too. The temperature outside is now 24 degrees. Inside the studio, it's down to 48 degrees. We're all shivering. We've piled on every piece of clothing we can find. Sarah found some blankets in a storage closet, and we're huddled under them. Our breath is visible in the air. The frost on the windows is getting thicker. We can't see outside anymore. The windows are completely frosted over. We're sealed in here like a tomb. Mike says the generator is still running, but it's getting worse. The fuel is almost gel. The engine is knocking. He doesn't think it's going to last the 36 hours he estimated. Maybe 24, maybe less. And when it dies, we're done. We'll have no heat, no light, no transmitter. We'll be just like everyone else, sitting in the dark waiting to die. I'm going to try the shortwave again. Let me see what I can find. There's a station broadcasting from Mexico City. They're saying Mexico City was hit. They took at least 2 warheads. The city is gone. Millions dead, but this broadcaster is outside the city. They're in a bunker. They're reading casualty reports. They're saying that every major city in Mexico was hit. Guadalajara, Monterrey, Tijuana, all gone. And they don't understand why. Mexico wasn't part of NATO. Mexico wasn't part of the war. And they were hit anyway. This was total war. This was the destruction of human civilization. No one was spared. There's another voice, someone in Japan, they're saying that Japan was hit. Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya, all the major cities, multiple warheads each, and they're crying, this broadcaster is crying on the air. They're saying that Japan has been destroyed by nuclear weapons twice. First Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, and now everything in 2014. They're asking what they did to deserve this. What sin did humanity commit to warrant total annihilation? And I don't have an answer. I don't think there is an answer. I need to take a break. I'm sorry. I know you need me to stay strong, but I can't do this anymore. My daughter is dead. I know she's dead. Even if she survived the initial fallout, she's not going to make it through the winter, or my wife and son are going to freeze or starve in our basement. Everyone I know is going to die. Everyone you know is going to die. We're all going to die, and there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing. Bob is telling me I need to pull myself together. He's right, I'm sorry. I'm going to put on some music and take a few minutes. I'm going to go splash some water on my face. We still have some bottled water here in the studio. I'm going to drink some water and try to calm down. Here's Eagles, Hotel California. I'll be back. This is Danny Morrison. I'm back. The time is 1:47. I apologize for losing it there. This is harder than I thought it would be. I thought I could be strong. I thought I could be the calm voice of reason. But I'm just a man. I'm just a scared human being who knows he's going to die. And I'm trying to make sense of it, and I can't. There's no sense to be made. This is insane. This is the ultimate insanity. We build enough weapons to kill everyone on Earth 10 times over, and then we used them. We actually used them. I'm getting a call. Someone is on the line. Hello, this is WKZR. This is Major Sarah Chun. I'm broadcasting from a military command post about 40 miles north of Columbus. We're still operational. We have power. We have communications equipment. I want you to know that there are still military personnel alive and working. We're trying to coordinate rescue efforts. We're trying to reach survivors. If anyone is listening, please try to make your way to marked FEMA shelters. Look for the black and yellow signs. If you can safely reach a FEMA shelter, there will be food, water, medical supplies, and protection from fallout. Major Chun, with all due respect, what FEMA shelters? I haven't heard of any FEMA shelters opening. I haven't heard any announcements. The announcement system is down. We're trying to get the word out however we can. That's why I'm calling radio stations. We need you to broadcast this information. There are shelters opening in every county. They're in school gymnasiums, in churches, in any building that has a basement and can provide shelter. We're staffing them with whatever personnel we have left. We're bringing in supplies from military stockpiles. It's not much, but it's something. Major, how many people do you think are still alive in Ohio? We don't know. We're estimating that the Columbus metro area lost about 60% of its population in the initial strike and immediate aftermath. That's over 1 million dead. But that means there's still maybe 700,000 alive. Most of them are in shelters right now. And if they stay there, if they follow decontamination procedures, if they ration their supplies, some of them might survive the next few weeks. And then what happens when the supplies run out? What happens when the nuclear winter sets in and crops fail and there's no food anywhere? We're working on that. We're trying to establish supply lines. We're trying to coordinate with other surviving military units. We're trying to make contact with other countries that weren't hit as hard. We're doing everything we can. Major, I appreciate that. I really do, but we both know the truth. This is an extinction level event. Humanity is finished. Maybe a few thousand people in bunkers will survive for a few years, but eventually the food will run out, the supplies will run out, and everyone is going to die. We need to be honest about that. I can't accept that. I won't accept that. As long as I'm alive, I'm going to fight. I'm going to work to save as many people as I can. And I need you to do the same. I need you to stay on the air. I need you to give people hope, because without hope, they're going to give up. They're going to walk outside without protection. They're going to put a gun in their mouth. Hope is the only thing keeping people alive right now, and you need to give it to them. Major Chin, you're right. I'm sorry. I'll do better. I'll stay on the air as long as I can. I'll broadcast your message about the FEMA shelters. What are the locations? Major Chun gave me a list of shelter locations. I'm going to read them to you now. If you were in Franklin County and you could safely travel, please make your way to one of these locations. Central High School on Broad Street, ST. Joseph Cathedral on 5th Avenue. Bexley High School on Cassingham Road. Upper Arlington High School on Ridgeview Road. Grove City Community Center on Southwest Boulevard. Each of these locations has been designated as a FEMA emergency shelter. They have food, water, medical supplies, and radiation protection. If you can reach one of these shelters, please do so. But do not travel if radiation levels in your area are above 10 roentgens per hour. Wait until levels drop. Your safety is the priority. I asked Major Chan about other parts of the state. She said they're still trying to establish communications with other areas. Cleveland has some military units still operational. Cincinnati is dark. They haven't heard anything from Cincinnati. Toledo is dark. Dayton is close to Wright-Patterson, so it's almost completely destroyed. Youngstown, Canton, Akron, they're still trying to reach those areas. In total, she estimates that Ohio has lost maybe 40% of its population already. That's almost 5 million people dead, and more dying every hour from radiation exposure. Major Chun asked her about her own family, where they are, if they're safe, and her voice broke. She said her parents were in New York, they're gone. Her brother was in San Francisco. He's gone. She has no one left. She's fighting to save strangers because her own family is dead, and I can hear the pain in her voice. But she's still fighting, she's still working, and I admire that. I admire her strength. The time is 2:36. The temperature outside is now 18 degrees. We've dropped 30 degrees in 9 hours. This is an unprecedented temperature drop. Climatologists have been warning about nuclear winter for decades, but I don't think anyone really understood how fast it would happen. The sun is completely blocked by the ash cloud. No solar radiation is reaching the surface. The Earth is radiating heat into space, and nothing is coming back. We're losing heat so fast that the atmosphere is collapsing. Weather patterns are going insane. The wind is howling at 70 miles per hour now. We can hear it screaming around the building. The whole structure is shaking. The black snow has stopped falling, but now it's just blowing around. The wind is picking up the ash from the ground and creating radioactive dust storms. Visibility is zero. The air outside is unbreathable. If you went outside right now, you would suffocate in the ash and freeze to death in minutes and absorb a lethal dose of radiation all at the same time. It's a perfect storm of death. I'm hearing something new on the shortwave. It's Morse code, very faint. Someone is tapping out CQ, W9ABC, W9ABC. That's a ham radio operator calling CQ, which means they're calling anyone who can hear them. Their call sign is W9ABC. I think that's an Indiana call sign. They're asking for contact. They're sending the same message over and over. CQ is anyone, there's anyone alive. Mike, our engineer, knows Morse code. He's sending a reply. DWXL 8FM WXL 8FM QRZ. We're telling them our call sign and asking what their message is. We're waiting for a reply. Here it comes. He's sending fallout heavy stop radiation 60. Our per hour stop Indianapolis gone. Stop alone in basement. Stop food for 3 days. Stop. What should I do? Stop. Mike is replying. Stay sheltered. Stop. Ration food. Stop. Wait for levels to drop. Stop. You are not alone. Stop. We are broadcasting. Stop. Stay strong. Stop. God bless. Stop. The Morse code has stopped. Maybe they received our message. Maybe their battery died. Maybe they're just too exhausted to continue. Sending Morse code is tiring when you're weak and scared and alone. I hope they heard us. I hope they know they're not alone. I'm going to take more calls. Hello, you're on WKZR. This is Pastor David Miller calling from Hilliard. I'm at Grace Lutheran Church. We've opened our basement as a shelter. We have about 50 people here, families, children, elderly. We have some food from the church kitchen. We have water. We're trying to take care of everyone, but we're running low on supplies. Is help coming? Are there any emergency services still functioning? Pastor Miller, this is Danny Morrison. I just spoke with a Major Chun from a military command post. She says they're trying to coordinate relief efforts, but resources are extremely limited. You should try to ration your supplies as much as possible. 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimal food consumption. Make everything last as long as you can and monitor radiation levels. Do you have a Geiger counter? No, we don't have any way to measure radiation. We don't know what the levels are outside. Then you need to assume they're high and keep everyone inside. Don't let anyone go out for any reason. Keep the doors and windows sealed. If you have duct tape and plastic sheeting, seal the doors and windows completely. Minimize air exchange with the outside. The fallout is deadly right now. You need to protect those people. We're doing everything we can. People are scared. The children are crying. Some of the adults are talking about leaving, about trying to get home to check on other family members. I'm trying to convince them to stay, but I don't know if I can. Pastor, you need to make them understand that if they leave, they will die. It's that simple. The radiation outside will kill them. The cold will kill them. They need to stay in that basement for at least 3 more days, preferably a week, and you need to lead them. You need to be strong for them. They're looking to you for guidance. Can you do that? I'll try. I'm not sure I'm strong enough. I'm not sure my faith is strong enough. How do I tell these people that God still loves them when he allowed this to happen? How do I explain this? Pastor, I don't have an answer for that. I've been asking myself the same question. I don't know why God allowed this to happen, but I know those people in your basement need you. They need your strength and your faith, even if you're questioning it yourself. Fake it if you have to. Be the rock they need. That's your calling now. Thank you. Thank you for being honest. I'll do my best. God bless you. That was Pastor David Miller from Hilliard. 50 people in a church basement, probably more people in more basements all over the city, all over the state, all over the country, little pockets of survivors huddled together, try and stay alive. And most of them are going to die in the next few weeks from radiation, from cold, from starvation, from disease, from despair. 50 people will become 30, will become 10, will become none. And Grace Lutheran Church will be a tomb full of frozen bodies. I'm sorry. I keep going dark. I keep losing hope. But it's hard to stay positive when you know how this ends, when you know that in a few weeks or months we're all going to be dead. What's the point of fighting? What's the point of surviving a few extra days just to die from starvation instead of radiation? Maybe the people who died in the blast were the lucky ones. At least it was quick. At least they didn't have to suffer through this slow, agonizing end. Bob is yelling at me. He's telling me I can't say things like that on the air. He's right, I'm sorry. People are listening. People need hope. I need to be strong. Let me try again. Listen, if you're out there listening to this, if you're in your basement or your shelter, you need to keep fighting. You need to survive. Every day you survive is a victory. Every hour is a victory. Don't give up. Don't let them win. Whoever started this, whoever pressed the button first, don't let them win by giving up. You fight. You survive. You live one more day, and then you live another day after that. And you keep going because that's what humans do. We survive. We endure. We're the most adaptable species on the planet. We can survive this. Some of us can survive this. And those who survive will rebuild. It might take generations, but we will rebuild. Have faith. Have hope. Please don't give up. The time is 3:51. The temperature outside is now 12 degrees. Inside the studio, it's 42 degrees. We're all freezing. Our fingers are numb. It's hard to work the equipment. Sarah can't stop shivering. We've wrapped her in every blanket we have, but it's not enough. The cold is getting inside the building. There's no way to stop it. We have the space heater on now. We're burning through battery power to run it, but we don't have a choice. If we don't stay warm, we're going to die. Hypothermia will kill us before the radiation does. Mike says the generator is really struggling now. It's running rough, coughing. The fuel is like gel. He's had to jerry-rig a heating element to warm the fuel line, but it's only barely working. He gives us maybe 12 more hours, maybe less. After that, the generator dies and we go off the air 12 hours. That's it. That's all we have left. I'm going to play some more music. I know we should probably conserve power, but what are we conserving it for? So we can sit here in the dark and freeze to death in silence. No, we're going to keep broadcasting music. We're going to keep being a radio station. We're going to do what we've always done. We're going to entertain. We're going to comfort. We're going to be a voice in the darkness. Here's Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb. And maybe that's what we all need right now, to be comfortably numb, to not feel the fear and the pain and the certainty of our own deaths, to just drift away on the music. That was Pink Floyd. The time is 4:17. The sun should be setting right now, but it's been dark all day. We've been in total darkness for over 6 hours, and it's going to stay dark. It's going to be dark tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. Weeks of darkness, months of darkness. People are going to lose track of time. They're going to lose track of day and night. They're going to go insane in the darkness. Isolation and darkness and cold and radiation. It's a recipe for madness. I'm hearing more voices on the shortwave. There's a station in Brazil. They're broadcasting in Portuguese, but I can understand some of it. They're saying that Brazil is trying to increase food production to make up for the losses in the northern hemisphere. They're saying they're going to try to help. But how can they help? How can they ship food to North America when there are no ports, no airports, no infrastructure? We're cut off. We're isolated. We're on our own. There's another voice, someone in South Africa. They're saying the same thing. They want to help, but they can't. The distance is too great. The logistics are impossible. And besides, they're facing their own crisis. The nuclear winter is affecting them too. Their temperatures are dropping. Their crops are starting to fail. In a few months, they're going to be fighting for survival too. This is global. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm going to try to take more calls. Hello, you're on WKZR. This is Maria from Reynoldsburg. My husband went outside 3 hours ago to try to get supplies from the store, and he hasn't come back. I'm worried. Should I go look for him? Maria, no, absolutely not. If your husband went outside 3 hours ago, he's already received a massive dose of radiation. He's either dead or dying. I'm sorry to be blunt, but you need to hear the truth. If you go outside looking for him, you're going to die too. And then who will take care of your children? How did you know I have children? Because you're calling me asking about your husband instead of already being out there looking for him. That means you have a reason to stay. You have children who need you. How many? 2. A boy and a girl, 8 and 10. Maria, those children need their mother. They need you to stay alive. Your husband made his choice. Maybe he knew the risks. Maybe he didn't, but he's gone now, and you need to accept that. You need to focus on keeping yourself and your children alive. Do you have food? Do you have water? We have some, maybe enough for a week if we're careful. Then you be careful. You make it last. You ration everything. You stay in your basement. You don't open the door for anyone. Not your husband, not neighbors, not anyone. Because if they've been outside, they're contaminated. They'll bring the radiation inside with them. You seal yourselves in and you wait. Do you understand, Maria? Yes, I understand. Thank you, I'm sorry. I loved him. I know, Maria. I know. We've all lost people we love today. We're all going to lose more people before this is over. But we have to keep going for the ones who are still alive, for the ones who are depending on us. You stay strong for your children. You're all they have now. I will, I promise. God bless you for staying on the air. That was Maria from Reynoldsburg. Her husband is dead or dying, and she doesn't even know it yet. She's going to wait for him to come home, and he never will. And eventually she'll have to accept that she's a widow and her children don't have a father anymore. And then she'll have to figure out how to keep them alive through the winter. And the odds are she won't be able to. The odds are they're all going to die. But I didn't tell her that. I gave her hope. I told her to stay strong because what else can I do? The time is 5:33. It's been 12 hours since the first reports from Europe. It's been over 10 hours since Wright-Patterson was hit. It feels like a lifetime is a lifetime. The world that existed this morning is gone forever. The world of cell phones and internet and cars and grocery stores and jobs and mortgages and all the mundane concerns of everyday life, gone. It's all gone. We're living in a new world now. A world of survival. A world where every day you're alive is Miracle. Mike just came up from the basement. He looks exhausted. His face is gray. He's been breathing the fumes from the generator for hours, and I think it's making him sick. He says the generator is on its last legs. The fuel is almost completely gelled. The engine is barely turning over. He gives us maybe 6 more hours, maybe less, after that we're done. 6 hours, that's midnight. We'll go off the air at midnight. How poetic. The end of the world happening at midnight. I'm asking Mike if there's anything we can do, any way to extend our broadcast time. And he's shaking his head. There's nothing. We've done everything we can. We've pushed the equipment to its limits. We've used every trick we know. But physics is physics. Chemistry is chemistry. The cold is too extreme. The fuel won't flow. The generator will seize up and die. And that will be it. No more WKZR. I'm asking Mike what he's going to do when we go off the air, where he's going to go. And he says he's not going anywhere. He's going to stay here. This is his radio station. He's worked here for 23 years. He's going to die here. I'm asking him if that's wise, if maybe we should all try to make it to one of those FEMA shelters Major Chen mentioned. And he's laughing, a bitter laugh. He says those shelters are going to be overcrowded death traps, disease and starvation and fighting. Over resources, he says he'd rather die here in the station with some dignity. And I can't argue with that. I can't tell him he's wrong. Bob is nodding. He says he's staying too. This is where he belongs. He's the general manager of WKZR. He's going down with the ship. And Sarah is crying. She's saying she wants to try to get home. Her parents live in Gahanna. That's maybe 10 miles from here. She wants to die with her family. And we're telling her it's too dangerous. The radiation, the cold, she'll never make it, but she's saying she has to try. She can't die here alone with us. She needs to be with her family. And how can we argue with that? How can we tell a 23-year-old girl that she can't go home to her parents? We're telling Sarah to wait until we go off the air. Wait until midnight. Maybe the radiation levels will be lower by then. Maybe she'll have a better chance. And she's agreeing. She's going to wait. She's going to help us stay on the air until the end. And then she's going home. Or she's going to die trying. I'm going to play more music. We're going to keep this party going as long as we can. Here's Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. 8 minutes of pure rock and roll. 8 minutes of beauty in the darkness. The time is 6:47. We're into hour 13 of the apocalypse. The temperature outside is now 7 degrees. 7 degrees in November in Ohio. That's insane. We should be at 50 degrees this time of year. We've dropped 41 degrees in less than 14 hours. This is the fastest temperature drop in recorded history. And it's still dropping by tomorrow. It's going to be below zero. By next week it might be 30 below, 40 below. The entire Midwest is going to become the Arctic, and we don't have the infrastructure to survive Arctic conditions. We don't have the clothing, the heating, the supplies. We're all going to freeze. I'm hearing something on the short wave. It's a broadcast from the BBC, or what's left of it. Someone is broadcasting from Scotland. They're saying that the British Isles have been devastated. London, Manchester, Birmingham, Edinburgh, all hit with multiple warheads. They estimate 20 million dead. That's a third of the entire UK population gone in the first hour. And the rest are facing the same fate we are. Radiation, cold, starvation, the collapse of civilization. The broadcaster in Scotland is reading a statement from the king. Apparently King Charles survived. He was at some royal estate in the north when the bombs fell. He's calling for calm, for unity, for the British people to help each other, to share resources, to survive together, and it's all meaningless. It's all just words. The king can't help anyone. The government can't help anyone. We're all on our own. There's another voice, someone in France. They're broadcasting from a bunker outside Lyon. They're saying that Paris was hit with at least 3 warheads. The city is completely destroyed. The Eiffel Tower melted. Can you imagine that? The Eiffel Tower melted from the heat of a nuclear explosion. That's how hot these weapons burn. Hot enough to melt steel, to vaporize stone, to turn human beings into shadows on the pavement. The broadcaster in line is crying. They're reading a list of French cities that have been destroyed. Paris. Lyon was hit too, apparently. But this person is outside the city. Marseille, Nice, Bordeaux, Toulouse, Strasbourg, all gone. France has been wiped off the map. 1,000 years of history and culture erased in an afternoon. The Louvre is gone. Notre Dame, which just survived a fire a few years ago, is now nuclear ash. It's all gone. I need to stop listening to the short wave. It's too depressing. It's the same story everywhere, death and destruction, and the end of everything. I need to focus on here, on now, on the people who are listening to this broadcast. Hello, you're on WKZR. This is Robert calling from Newark. That's about 40 miles east of Columbus. We're a farming community out here. We have livestock, we have crops, or our livestock are all dead. They died within hours of the blast. The horses, the cows, the pigs, all dead. They were outside when the fallout came, and they just died. And our crops, everything in the fields is dead. The corn, the soybeans, everything is black, covered in ash, dead. Our entire farm is dead. 40 years of work destroyed. In one afternoon. What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to survive without the farm? Robert the First don't know. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer. The entire agricultural system has been destroyed. Not just your farm, but every farm. Food production has stopped. The food in the warehouses and the stores is all we have. When that runs out, we're going to start starving. And there's no way to restart agriculture in the middle of a nuclear winter. Nothing will grow without sunlight. We're facing global famine. So we're all going to starve to death. That's what you're saying? Most of us, yes. I'm sorry, Robert. But yes, most of us are going to starve to death. Some people in bunkers with large food stockpiles might survive for a year or two. Maybe some military installations have supplies. But for the average person, for farmers like you and radio DJs like me, we have a few weeks at most, maybe a couple months if we're lucky and we ration carefully. But eventually the food runs out and we starve. I'm sorry, Robert. I wish I had better news. We should have known this was coming. We should have stopped it. All those years of the Cold War, all those treaties and summits and promises, and it was all for nothing. They launched anyway. They killed us all anyway. What was the point? What was the point of any of it? I don't know, Robert. I really don't know. Maybe there was no point. Maybe we were always heading for this. Maybe it was inevitable. Maybe as soon as we invented these weapons, we sealed our fate. Maybe the only question was when, not if. Robert hung up or the line died. I don't know which. The phone system is dying. Most of the lines are dead now. We're only getting occasional calls. The cellular network is completely gone. The internet is gone. Landlines are failing. Soon there will be no communications at all. Each group of survivors will be isolated, alone, unable to call for help or coordinate or even just talk to another human being. The silence is going to be deafening. The time is 7:56. We have maybe 4 hours left, 4 hours until the generator dies, and we go off the air. 4 hours to say everything that needs to be said, for hours to be a voice in the darkness. What do I say? What wisdom can I impart? I'm not a philosopher. I'm not a priest. I'm just a radio DJ. I play classic rock and read advertisements and make stupid jokes. I'm not qualified to shepherd humanity through the apocalypse. But here I am. I'm all you've got. Me and my voice and this microphone and this dying radio station. So I'm going to talk. I'm going to keep talking until I can't anymore. I'm going to tell you about my life, about the world that was... Maybe someone somewhere is recording this. Maybe someday, if anyone survives, they'll want to know what it was like. They'll want to know how we felt as we watched the world end. My name is Daniel James Morrison. I'm 42 years old. I was born in Columbus, Ohio in 1972. I grew up in the suburbs. I went to Bishop Watterson High School. I went to Ohio State. I graduated in 1994 with a degree in communications. I started working in radio when I was 23, small stations at first, overnight shifts, weekends, working my way up. I got the morning drive job at WKZR in 2002. I've been doing this show for 12 years, and I've loved it. I've loved talking to you every morning. I've loved playing music. I've loved being a small part of your daily routine. I met my wife, Susan, in college. We got married in 1996. We have 2 children, Emily, who's 19, and Andrew, who's 15. Emily is studying biology at Ohio University. She wants to be a veterinarian. She loves animals. She always has. When she was little, she was always bringing home stray cats and injured birds. Andrew plays basketball. He's on the JV team at his high school. He's pretty good. He might make varsity next year. He won't get to make varsity next year. None of that matters now. Basketball is over. College is over. Veterinary medicine is over. It's all over. Susan is a teacher. She teaches 3rd grade at Jones Middle School. She loves her students. She talks about them all the time. Little kids with their problems and their dreams and their whole lives ahead of them. Had their whole lives ahead of them. Those kids are dead now, all dead. Susan's classroom is empty. The desks are empty. The books are scattered on the floor. The artwork on the walls is covered in ash. It's all gone. I'm never going to see my family again. I know that now. I've been holding out hope, telling myself maybe they're okay. Maybe they made it to the basement. Maybe they're listening to this broadcast, but I know they're not. My wife wouldn't be huddled in a basement listening to me on the radio. She'd be trying to do something, trying to help, trying to find me, trying to save our son. And that's probably what got her killed. She went outside. She went looking for help or supplies, and the radiation killed her, or maybe she's still alive but dying. Maybe she's in the basement right now vomiting from radiation sickness. Hair falling out, bleeding from her eyes and nose, and there's nothing I can do. I'm trapped here in this radio station 10 miles away, and I can't help her. I can't even call her. I can't say goodbye. And my daughter in Athens, she's definitely dead. Athens is 70 miles downwind from Wright-Patterson. The fallout plume went right over that town. Everyone there got a massive dose. The university tried to shelter in place, I'm sure. They probably told the students to go to their dorms, to stay inside, but it won't matter. The buildings aren't shielded. The radiation went right through. They're all dying. 20,000 students dying in their dorm rooms. And my Emily is one of them. My beautiful, brilliant daughter who wanted to save animals is dying, maybe already dead, and I never got to say goodbye. I never got to tell her I love her one last time. I'm crying now. I can't help it. I'm sitting here in this radio studio, crying on the air, and I don't care. I don't care who hears it. My family is dead. Your family's probably dead. We're all dead or dying, and there's no point pretending anymore. This is the end. This is what the end looks like. It looks like a middle-aged man crying into a microphone while the world freezes outside. Bob is telling me to pull myself together. He's saying people are depending on me. People need to hear a strong voice, but I can't be strong anymore. I've been strong for 13 hours. I've been holding it together, telling people to have hope, telling people to survive. And for what? So they can live a few more days in misery, so they can watch their children starve, so they can freeze to death slowly instead of quickly. What's the point? Sarah is hugging me. She's 23 years old, and she's comforting a man twice her age. She's telling me it's okay. It's okay to cry. We're all scared. We're all sad. We're all mourning everything we've lost. And she's right. I need to mourn. We all need to mourn. We need to grieve for the world that was, for all the people who died today, for all the people who are going to die, for the future that will never be, for the children who will never be born, for the grandchildren I'll never have, for everything that's been taken from us. I'm going to play a song. I'm going to play something that expresses what I'm feeling better than I can say it. Here's Simon and Garfunkel, The Sound of Silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. The time is 8:43. The temperature outside is now 3 degrees. Inside the studio, it's 38 degrees. We're all huddled together for warmth. The three of us, Bob and Sarah, and me, 3 human beings at the end of the world. Mike is in the basement with the generator. Someone has to monitor it. Someone has to keep it running as long as possible. He's down there in the dark and the cold, sacrificing his comfort, so we can stay on the air a few hours longer. I'm hearing something on the ham radio. Someone is calling CQ. They're in Des Moines. They're saying Des Moines was hit. The entire city is gone. They're in a fallout shelter outside the city. They have maybe 100 people there. They have food for 2 weeks. After that, they don't know what they'll do. They're asking if anyone is coordinating rescue efforts, if anyone is organizing survivors. And we're telling them no. There's no coordination. There's no rescue. Every group is on its own. Survival is a local matter now, and they're asking what they should do after the food runs out. Should they try to migrate south, try to get to warmer areas? And we're telling them no, don't travel. The roads are impassable. The cold is too extreme. You'll never make it. Stay where you are, ration your food, hope for the best. Hope for the best. That's all we can say. Hope for the best. But the best is never coming. The best would be if the sun came back, if the temperature rose, if crops started growing again, if civilization rebuilt itself. But none of that is going to happen. The sun is gone for months, maybe years. The temperature is going to keep dropping. Nothing is going to grow. Civilization is dead. There is no best to hope for. Another voice on the ham radio. This one from Tulsa. They're saying Tulsa was hit. Tinker Air Force Base was hit. Thousands dead. Refugees streaming out of the city trying to escape the radiation. But there's nowhere to go. The entire region is contaminated. The wind is spreading the fallout hundreds of miles. And it's cold. So cold, people are freezing on the roads. Cars are running out of gas and being abandoned. Highways are littered with frozen corpses. It's a nightmare of frozen. Radioactive nightmare. And another voice, this one from Portland. They're saying Portland took a direct hit. The entire city is gone. Mount Hood is obscured by the ash cloud. It's snowing in Portland. It never snows in Portland. And the snow is black. Radioactive black snow covering everything, accumulating feet deep, and the temperature is dropping. It's 15 degrees in Portland, 15 degrees in a city that usually has mild, wet winters. People don't have winter clothes. They don't have heating systems designed for this kind of cold. They're freezing in their homes. Thousands of people freezing to death in their own beds. Every voice tells the same story. Death and cold and radiation and the end of everything. I'm turning off the shortwave. I can't listen anymore. I need to focus on here, on the people who are listening to WKZR, on the people in Central Ohio who might still be alive, who need to hear a human voice, who need to know they're not alone. The time is 9:37. We have maybe 2 hours left. The generator is coughing and sputtering in the basement. Mike is doing everything he can, but it's dying. The fuel is solid. It won't flow. The engine can barely turn. We're running on fumes and luck and prayer. 2 more hours, and then silence. Bob is asking me what I want to play in the final hour. What song should we go out with? And I'm thinking about it. What music do you play at the end of the world? What songs are appropriate for this moment? And I realize there are no appropriate songs. Music is for the living. Music is for hope and joy and love and all the things that are gone now. But we're going to play music anyway, because that's what we do. We're a radio station. We play music. That's our job. That's our purpose. And we're going to do our job until the very end. I'm going to play the Beatles, Let It Be, because maybe that's what we need to hear. Let it be, accept what's happened, accept that we can't change it. Let it be, find peace in the acceptance. Let it be. That was the Beatles. The time is 9:59. 1 more hour, 60 minutes, 3,600 seconds. That's all we have left. Sarah is asking me what she should do. Should she try to leave now? Try to make it home before we go off the air. And I'm telling her, wait until midnight. Wait until the end. Spend the last hour with us. Don't die alone in the snow. Try to reach a home that might already be empty. Stay here with us. We're family now, the 3 of us and Mike. Downstairs, with a family of WKZR, we're in this together. Sarah is crying. She's saying she's scared. She doesn't want to die. She's only 23. She should have decades ahead of her. She should get married, have children, have a career, have a life. And instead, she's going to die here in this radio studio or outside in the snow. And it's not fair. It's not fair that her life is being cut short, that all our lives are being cut short, that billions of lives are being cut short because some politicians and generals decided to press buttons, because some leaders decided that winning was more important than humanity's survival. I'm holding Sarah, telling her it's going to be okay. Even though I know it's not, even though I know we're all going to die, but sometimes you have to lie. Sometimes you have to give comfort even when there's no truth to it. Sometimes being human means lying to make someone feel better. And that's what I'm doing. I'm lying to this young woman and telling her it's going to be okay when I know it won't be. When I know she's going to freeze or starve or die from radiation poisoning in the next few days or weeks. But right now, in this moment, I'm giving her comfort, and that matters. That means something, even if it's all we have left. The time is 10:24, 36 minutes left. The lights are flickering now. The generator is failing. Mike just called up from the basement. He says the engine is seizing. The fuel won't flow at all. He's manually trying to keep it going, but he can't hold out much longer. We might not even make it to midnight. We might go off the air any minute now. So I need to say what needs to be said. I need to tell you what matters. If you're listening to this, if you're out there in your basement or your shelter, I want you to know that you matter. Your life matters. You're important. You are valuable. You are loved. Don't give up. Don't surrender. Fight for every breath. Fight for every heartbeat. Survive one more hour. One more day. Survive as long as you can because your life has meaning. You have worth. You are a human being, and that means something. I want you to know that this wasn't your fault. You didn't cause this. You didn't ask for this. This was done to you by people in power, by leaders who failed us, by a system that built weapons instead of building peace. And you don't have to forgive them. You don't have to understand them. You just have to survive them. You have to outlive them. You have to be the ones who remember what they did, who remember the world that was, who tell the story if anyone is left to tell it to. I want you to know that humanity is worth saving, that despite everything, despite the wars and the bombs and the destruction, we are a species worth preserving. We created art and music and literature. We built cities and monuments. We explored the world and the solar system. We loved each other. We helped each other. We were capable of such beauty and kindness and compassion. And yes, we were also capable of terrible things, of violence and hatred and genocide, but the good outweighed the bad. The love outweighed the hate. And if we survive, if any of us survive, we need to remember that we need to rebuild a world based on the good parts of humanity, not the bad. The lights are flickering again. The transmitter is cutting in and out. Mike is yelling from the basement. He says the generator is dying. He can't keep it going much longer. We have maybe 10 minutes, maybe less. This is it. This is the end of WKZR. I'm going to play one more song. I'm going to play the most beautiful song I know. I'm going to play something that reminds us of what we're losing, of what mattered. Here's Israel Chemical singing over the rainbow. And as you listen, I want you to think about the world that was, about the beauty that existed, about the love you had and the love you gave, about everything that made life worth living. And I want you to hold that in your heart, because even though the world is ending, though everything is dark and cold and dying, we had our time, we had our moment in the sun, we lived and loved, and that will always be true. No one could take that away from us. The song is playing. It's beautiful. Sarah is crying. Bob is crying. I'm crying. I just came up from the basement. He says the generator is done. It's seized. We're running on battery backup now. We have maybe 5 minutes. He's standing here with us, all four of us together in the dark studio watching the lights dim, listening to this beautiful song, thinking about everything we've lost. The song is ending. The time is 10:48. The lights are almost gone. The transmitter is barely holding on. I can hear the carrier wave weakening, fluctuating, or fading. WKZR is fading. In a few minutes there will be nothing but static on 101.7 FM. Nothing but silence where our signal used to be. I want to say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being with me through this. Thank you for surviving this long. Thank you for trying. Thank you for caring. Thank you for being human. Thank you for everything. I want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't save you. I'm sorry I couldn't stop this. I'm sorry the world had to end this way. I'm sorry for all the pain and fear and suffering. I'm sorry we failed. I'm sorry this is how it ends. I want to say I love you. I love my family wherever they are. I love humanity, even with all our flaws. I love the world that was. I love the music and the art and the beauty. I love everything we created, everything we were, everything we could have been. The lights are going. The transmitter is dying. I can hear it failing. The carrier wave is dropping. Any second now we're going to go off the air and there will be silence, eternal silence. Sarah is holding my hand. Bob is holding my other hand. Mike is standing with us, the four of us together at the end, for human beings who stayed on the air as long as we could, who did our job, who kept broadcasting, who were voices in the darkness. The Geiger counter is clicking. Someone brought it up from the basement. The radiation is getting inside the building. The walls aren't thick enough. We're being exposed right now. Standing here in the studio being bathed in radiation. We're going to die from this. Even if we had food and heat, we're going to die from the radiation. But it doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters except this moment, this final moment together. I can hear the wind outside. It's screaming at 100 miles per hour. The building is shaking. I can hear things breaking, windows shattering somewhere. The black snow is piling against the building, burying us. We're being buried alive in radioactive ash. The temperature in the studio is 32 degrees, freezing. We can see our breath. Frost is forming on the equipment. Everything is frosting over. The cold is winning. The nuclear winter is here. The darkness and the cold and the death. It's all here. This is Danny Morrison at WKZR Classic Rock 101. 7. It's been an honor serving you. It's been an honor being your voice. I hope some of you survive. I hope some of you make it through this. I hope you rebuild. I hope you create something better than what we had. I hope you remember us. Remember the world that was. Remember that we tried. We tried so hard to warn everyone to stop this, and we failed, but we tried. And that has to count for something. The carrier wave is fading. The transmitter is failing. The lights are going out. This is it. This is the end of WKZR. This is the end of everything. If anyone is still out there, if anyone can still hear me, God help us all. God save us. God forgive us for what we've done. The transmitter is dead. We're off the air. There's no more signal. Just static, just silence. But I'm still here. I'm still talking even though no one can hear me anymore. Talking into the darkness, into the void. Talking because that's all I know how to do. Talking because I'm human, and that's what humans do. We communicate, we reach out, we try to connect even when there's no one there to connect with. Sarah has left. She's going home. She's going to try to reach her parents. I tried to stop her, but she insisted. She bundled up in every piece of clothing she could find, wrapped a scarf around her face, and she went out into the storm, into the black snow and the radiation and the cold. I watched her disappear into the darkness, and I know I'll never see her again. But I hope she makes it. I hope she finds her family. I hope she gets to die with the people she loves. Bob and Mike are still here with me. The three of us sitting in the dark. No lights, no power, no heat. Just us and the wind and the cold. We're sharing the last of our water, the last of our food, some crackers and a candy bar. That's all we have left, our last meal at the end of the world. We're talking about our lives, about the things we did, the things we wish we'd done, the regrets, the triumphs, the loves, the losses. Bob is telling us about his grandchildren. He has 4 of them. The oldest is 7. They're all dead now. He knows they're dead, but he's talking about them like they're still alive, telling us funny stories, things they said, things they did, and we're listening, we're honoring their memory, because what else can we do? Mike is talking about his wife. She died 5 years ago. Cancer. He's saying he's glad she's not here to see this. Glad she didn't have to watch the world end. And maybe he's right. Maybe the dead are the lucky ones. Maybe we're the ones who should be pitted. We're the ones who have to live through this, who have to experience the end. I'm talking about my family, about Susan and Emily and Andrew, about the life we had, the house in Upper Arlington with the big backyard, the dog we had when the kids were little, a golden retriever named Max. Family vacations to the beach, birthdays, Christmases, all the ordinary moments that make up a life. And I'm realizing that those ordinary moments were extraordinary. that the mundane daily routine of life was actually precious and beautiful, and I never appreciated it enough. I was always rushing to the next thing, always worried about something, and I never just stopped and appreciated what I had. And now it's gone, and I'd give anything to have one more ordinary day with my family. It's getting colder, we're freezing, we've stopped being able to feel our fingers and toes. Hypothermia is setting in. This is how we're going to die. We're going to freeze to death here in a radio studio. The three of us together. And honestly, it's not the worst way to go. Better than radiation poisoning. Better than starving. We're just going to get sleepy and drift off and never wake up. Bob is dozing now, his head on the desk. Mike is leaning against the wall, eyes closed. I'm still awake. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to miss the end. I want to be conscious for every moment. I want to experience this fully. The end of everything, the end of me, the end of humanity. I'm thinking about evolution, about how life started on this planet billions of years ago. Single-celled organisms in the ocean, gradually becoming more complex, eventually crawling on a land, eventually becoming us, humans, Homo sapiens, the species that conquered the world, that invented language and tools and civilization, that created art and music and science, that built cities and explored space. And now we're ending, we're going extinct, and in a few million years there won't be any. Evidence we ever existed. Our cities will be dust. Our monuments will be eroded away. Our art and music and literature will be gone. It will be like we never were. But we were here. We existed. For a brief moment in cosmic time we were here, and we mattered. We had thoughts and feelings and dreams. We loved and laughed and cried. We experienced the universe becoming conscious of itself. And even though it's ending, even though it's all gone, we were here, we existed. And that means something. That has to mean something. I'm getting very cold now, very tired. My thoughts are becoming fuzzy, confused. I know this is the end. Hypothermia is taking me. My core temperature is dropping. My body is shutting down. And I'm not afraid. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to join my family wherever they are, heaven or oblivion or nowhere. Doesn't matter. I'm ready. I can barely move now, can barely think, just cold and tired and fading. Fading like the carrier wave, fading like the lights, fading like everything. Is anyone out there? Can anyone hear me? Is there anyone left? So cold, so dark. My family, I love you, I'll see you soon. Everyone out there, whoever you are, wherever you are, don't give up, survive. Remember us. Remember the world. Remember, goodbye.